I bet that bike is slow as
No, you're wrong.
Hey, what motor is it? Let's go.
It's electric.
Tesla?
No, not a Tesla.
Electric. It's electric.
Woogie, woogie, woogie.
It's electric.
Hey guys, it's me, RECK. We're taking out the Zero today so I can introduce you guys to it and tell you what it's like to own an electric bike. Not going to waste too much time in the garage. Let's get straight out there. Got a full charge. That's awesome! The kid just randomly riding a unicycle down the street. I've actually done that before. I might have a video clip of it, but that's hilarious. Alright, we're out on the street, so I'm going to start talking about my bike. This is the 2020 Zero FX, the 7.2 kilowatt battery version, and it's modular, which I'll tell you what that means in a minute later in the video. I've owned it for over a year now, maybe a year and a half or so. No, just a year and a couple months actually. So it is fully electric, battery powered drivetrain, no gas motor or anything. I get about 50 to 100 miles in a battery charge. It takes about an hour and a half to charge from totally dead, but it only takes like 45 minutes to get to 90%. So there's all of the basic quick information that people want to know. I'll just get that out of the way for the people who aren't going to watch all the way through the video, but I'll go more into detail about all those different things here in a second. So as you can see, I've got 7,000 miles on the bike. I got a full charge right now, so we're going to do a little bit of a range test, and I'll take you through what it's really like to own an electric motorcycle. So stick with me. So if you've heard anything about electric, you've probably heard about instant torque. It's what everybody always brings up. Electric is not like gas. When you give throttle to a gas bike, it takes a second to like bog up to the RPM that you're setting the throttle at. And that causes a delay between your throttle and the response. Electric is not like that. When I crank this throttle, hold on. I wanted to make sure that van wasn't going to pull out in front of me. When I crank this throttle, I get power on demand, and it's a lot of power too. 78 foot-pounds for a dirt bike. This thing is a breeze to wheelie. Like, you seriously just crank the throttle and it performs for you. And I don't use a clutch or anything to bring the wheelie up. There actually is no clutch. You might see the left bar is like totally naked other than my regular controls. It is always in gear, and it's belt driven. One gear. I'll show you that in a second here when I park. But that means there is no clutch, so if you twist that throttle, it's giving you power. So when I'm sitting at red lights, sometimes I'll actually kill switch myself just to make sure I don't accidentally whiskey throttle. Especially if I'm in a group ride. You know, people like to come up and mess with you, twist your throttle, get your bike to rev, or kill switch you, whatever. I'll kill switch myself, because if they come up and twist my throttle, I'm gonna do a backflip. Dude, I didn't want you to twist the throttle and I would do a backflip. I had to make sure it was kill switch. It's really nice outside today. It's like 50 degrees at least. Feels great. I'm a little overdressed. So as you can see, so far we've used 4% battery and gone almost 4 miles. For the higher battery ranges, that's pretty much going to be true. It's 1 mile per percent, because electric motors and batteries are more efficient at higher voltages. So as the voltage goes down, you actually lose efficiency. So over time, your range will start to decrease faster and faster, or your percentage will start to decrease faster and faster depending on how you're riding. There's a curve that's kind of like from 100 to 90, it drops kind of fast. And then from 90 to like 40, that's your most consistent like slow drain of the battery. And then from like 40 to 30, it gets a little faster. But then once you get below 30, it starts to drop really fast. And especially below like 20, then it really tanks. And it all depends on how you're riding. If you're going crazy fast, it's gonna tank fast. If you're not going fast, if you're just cruising like I am, a couple of wheelies here and there, some off-roading, you're not gonna have that big of an issue with it. You're gonna get some good range. And just to be clear, this is Zero's lowest performing model on like every aspect except for like suspension and, you know, the physical attributes. When it comes to range and torque and speed, this is their lowest performing model. It's also their cheapest model. You can get this bike right now, I think, for about 10 grand. And really, I would say it is worth that, just because nothing else really compares to this. This is so good. Zero really nailed it compared to some of the other electrics that are out there. And people always hear 10 grand and they're like, oh my God, 10 grand, that's so expensive. Well, look at a brand new like KTM dirt bike. That's gonna be 10 grand. Now, to be fair, that could probably be run on the track pretty nicely and it would fit in. This has some lower suspension because it is a street legal dirt bike, so I'm going to run it on the track, but it's probably not as good as something that's purpose built for the track. And I'm talking about the dirt track, that is. So I do want to mention, people always talk about loud bikes save lives or loud pipes save lives, whatever. Personally, I disagree with that. There's a very specific scenario where I feel like having loud pipes actually makes a difference in traffic. I've ridden a Grom with a loud exhaust before. I know it's not a Harley, so my experience isn't much to compare, but I've actually been cut off or merged into or whatever on the Grom more than I have on this bike, which if you're in a car, you do not hear this bike. I guarantee it. It is so quiet. Like, listen to that. And it's honestly really, really nice having electric, because you can cruise around anywhere you'd like and just listen to the sounds of nature. You find some twisty roads, you can hear the birds in the trees, you see the leaves changing here in autumn, and it's a whole different experience than a gas bike, because you can really clear your mind and relax. It's so nice. Now, it is true, you know, like I said, these people in these cars are not going to hear that I'm here, so you do have to ride a little bit differently, just knowing that. But honestly, I feel like it makes you a safer rider anyway, because if you're constantly thinking they don't know I'm here, you're riding like you're invisible, and you're ready when they're coming to cut you off or do whatever they're gonna do. And when it comes to having a loud bike, yeah, sure, if I'm right here, that Jeep is gonna hear me. He knows I'm next to him. If I were 1 car length back, or maybe even 2 car lengths back, I bet you that Jeep wouldn't hear me, even with a loud bike. That's at least been my experience. And even just driving my car, you know, loud bikes will sneak up on you and then they scare the shit out of you when they pass, because they're so loud. They rumble, they shake your car, they make you flinch. I'm a little gun shy, so, you know, I flinch to loud noises, and a lot of people are that way. And honestly, that can be even more dangerous. You got a nervous driver behind the wheel and you scare the crap out of them, so they flinch and they might swerve. And the other thing about this bike is because it's electric, and electric is so, well, it's not really new, but so uncommon, people tend to pay extra attention to me once they notice me, because they're like, what the heck is that, and why does it not make any sound? So they'll focus on me. It's hilarious, honestly. And yes, this bike does have regen braking. I was just using it there. So I didn't actually use my brakes at all in that time I was slowing down right in that turn. If you just touch your brakes enough that your brake light comes on, then your regen braking engages, and the bike will actually use the motor to recharge the battery and slow you down faster. There is a passive regen as well, so if I let off the throttle, you see my bars here will go negative, and that's showing that there's a negative torque being applied and negative power. That's what the two bars mean, and that is adjustable. So right now I have it in eco mode, which has the most regen braking and the least amount of torque, and the top speed is capped at 70. It's usually what I cruise around in until I want to do a wheelie or something extreme, just because it's nice to be able to extend my battery range, and it still has plenty of torque even in eco mode. Then there is sport mode, which is full torque, unlimited, no top speed limit, and a smaller amount of regen braking, and that's supposed to be the most familiar feeling for most riders when they try out electric for the first time. And then there's custom mode, which you can set to be somewhat whatever you want. And I say somewhat because there are limitations, unfortunately. But my custom mode personally is set up to be a wheelie mode. So I actually have it set to unlimited torque, no top speed limit, and no regen braking. So if I let off the throttle, you see there's no negative bars there, if you can see that. That means that once I'm up here and I chop throttle, it's all just balance and coasting, freewheeling. Got to use the brake if it drops too far back. And the reason I do that is I was finding that with regen braking turned on, I was actually mouse trapping. Every time I would chop the throttle, that regen would kick in, and then the bike would just come slamming down in the wheelie. And I know that that's largely because I was inexperienced back then, and I could probably manage the regen braking now, but it doesn't feel like a gas bike's engine braking. It's not the same. It's very similar, but not the same. So on a gas bike, yes, the motor slows you down. It is braking technically, but at the same time, it also has an idle speed. And if you're in a wheelie and you're cruising at about your motor's idle speed, you can have it right at balance point, hand off the throttle, and just keep going, balanced. On this bike, there is no such thing as an idle speed. So if you let your hand off the throttle, the bike is going to come slamming down because that engine braking is going to kick in no matter what speed you're going. So that's why I chose to have my custom mode set to no braking. There you go. So we've gone 11% in 9.5 miles. So 9.7, whatever. So right now it's looking like we're going to get a range of about 75 miles or so. And of course, it all depends on how I'm riding. Right now I'm obviously doing some relaxed riding, so my range is going to get better until I leave this park. The main killer for range is definitely speed. If you're doing less than 45 the entire time, you're going to get close to that 100-mile range. But if you're doing over 45 the entire time, it's going to start looking more like that 50. 45 seems to be the real turning point. I'm not coming for you. I'm just turning around. It's okay. Don't freak out. How you doing, guys? Wow, look at you. See, my bike's on right now. It's just waiting for me. Imagine you're sitting here on a sport bike or a Harley. It's like, coke, 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 coke. Those deers would be gone. That's cool. Oh, here we go. Here's a couple of deer. Look at that. They didn't notice me until I was right behind them. Don't freak out, guys. I'm not coming for you. I'm just turning around. I just love that. I have a clip here I'll put in from the other day. I was like 10 feet away from this deer. It was not scared at all of me rolling up. It was hilarious. Hi, guys. How you doing? Wow, you are cute. Google, I'm not talking to you. See, look at this. I'm 10 feet away from this guy right now. Is that your kid? I like your kid, he's cute. Yeah, it's a pretty cool bike, isn't it? He's totally checking it out. Look, he's looking it over. All right, guys. Well, it was nice chatting with you, but I'm gonna take off, okay? See you later. Bye. Oh, he looked like he was sad to see me go. That's so funny. Gotta love electric bikes. Well, that was a nice little trip through the park. I was hoping to see a couple more deer, but at least I got that clip from a week ago I can show you guys. I already tried to record this vlog once. I didn't have the mic set up in my helmet, so you just could not hear a single thing I was saying. Hopefully, this mic is doing much better. It is hidden like under my cheek pad, so it might still be muffled. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so now I'm gonna show you guys what the charge stations look like and how you use them. This park I'm at actually does have a charge station here, and I've used it a few times. So I'll give you a quick peek. I'm gonna be talking to myself right next to this person. That'll be funny. Okay, so I don't actually have my charger with me today, but normally I have my charger in a box here. This is what one of the charge stations looks like. I just put my phone on it. It authorizes my card. And then it gives me the plug, and I plug it straight into that bike, or into the charger, which goes into the bike. But I'm gonna actually cancel that. Okay, and then I want to show you, it's actually set to free, and almost every charge station around Omaha is free. There's only one I've actually found that isn't, and that's at the university. And even that one, I think it's like 12 cents per hour. The cost to ride this bike, if I'm using the public charging stations, is zero, except for, you know, obviously tires and brake pads and the general wear items. It does not cost anything to run this bike, which is nice. Even a Honda Grom nowadays with today's gas prices, it's like $3 or $4 to fill your gas tank on a Grom. That's insane. And I've gone through like 2 tanks a day on a Grom before, and you're looking at like $8 a day to ride. If I'm charging at home, obviously I'm having to pay for that electricity for my house, but the price per kilowatt is about 12 cents, 2 3.6s. So it's about a 7 kilowatt battery. So 7 times 12, it's really not much you're paying to charge this bike, even at home. So most of the time what my charging experience looks like, I'll have the bike down to about 40% or so, and then I will plug in at one of the public chargers, go to the closest like smoothie shop or fast food, get myself a smoothie or some food, whatever, enjoy a little break, and in half an hour I'll have 90%. So you could just make quick little pit stops, just like you would on a gas bike, just take a little bit longer, some time for yourself, and boom, you got a whole nother gas tank to go play with, or charged battery in my case. And I only ever find myself doing that once per ride, if I do it at all. And that's just because, honestly, the range is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. You can easily cover 100 miles in a day, and, you know, I do it all the time, but most rides are going to be less than 100. They're probably going to be less than even 60, I'd say, so this bike will make it. Now, I'll briefly talk about range anxiety. So that's something that comes along with electric vehicles. You get to that like 30% battery mark and you start thinking, oh God, am I gonna make it to the charger? Am I gonna make it home? I actually have never gotten myself stranded on this bike, and I've come close a couple times, like parked it at 0, but as long as you use your head, you read your numbers, you pay attention, you're not gonna get stranded. You're not gonna run out of battery. You just got to plan your ride a little better, and even if it's a impromptu ride where you don't know where you're going, you ride all over town, whatever, just have an escape plan in your mind, like where am I going to go to hit a charger next, or when am I going to break off to go home. You always want to know how far away from home you are in terms of miles. Right now, I'm going straight into a strong headwind. You can see I've gone down 2%, but I've only gone 1 mile. So that reduced my range by like 25% at least, just going into that wind. And when it comes to chargers, Omaha really could use some more. They're scattered about. There's not very many of them at each station. There's usually just one, honestly. I've never actually had to compete for a plug, but I do have to travel to get to the plugs, and that's the annoying part. I really wish there were more around the city. Okay, so here I'll show you. This is the charging cord for the bike right here. Look at that. I can't remember what that plug's called, but that is just like a regular power supply plug to the wall. It, let me put that back in there. It goes right up here in this port, and that's the stock charger. The accessory charger goes down here under this, right there. Which, that was supposed to be closed. Whoops. Good thing I didn't hit any water today. So then it is belt driven, which I have no complaints about. That makes it nice and quiet, and it still has tons of power. No having to tighten the chain all the time, you know, none of that, looping it up. It just works. Like, I've never had one snap in all this time, and I am hard on this bike. Like, I jump, I wheelie, I burn out, I do all the things, and that belt has hung in there. I know people have snapped them, but I'm also a pretty lightweight rider, so I'm a lightweight rider. The stock tires, these are still stock, are actually really, really good on the street and mediocre off-road. I've done some trail riding, hill climbs, you know, all that jazz, had some fun with them, but they leave a lot to be desired off-road. But, you know, that's expected. I'd rather have it be great for street at this moment. This is a 2-battery system here. You actually take this panel off, put it where you want, and then these batteries will slide out one by one. So you can run this bike with like 45 less pounds, front or back, your choice. There's a little connector you put in there, and you can run it with just one battery, charge the other one off the bike while you're riding. So it's like you could ride all day at the track that way, and then it's a lightweight bike. It's already a pretty lightweight bike, in my opinion. I don't really know what to compare it to, but it weighs about 290 pounds, I believe, so almost 300 pounds, and that's with both batteries in. With one out, it's like 240 or 245 maybe, I think, which is really not bad. And then you take out the second battery, and it's like a 200-pound frame, which is so easy to load in and out of the truck and everything. It's like no big deal at all. So yeah, my last year with this bike has been amazing. I love it to pieces. I wish it had LED lights. I could do that myself, but I'm lazy, so you know, there's that. It does actually have hazards, which I think is kind of funny. This is my top box mount here, so I normally have a box. I'll show a picture right now of what that looks like. That's where I keep my accessory charger, but I don't like to run it now because it's broke after that crash. Insurance will fix that eventually. I would like to extend this body panel out and put the charger right there, like as if it were an exhaust instead. That would be much nicer. But yeah, there's the walk around of the bike. Everything on this is still stock. I haven't changed anything except taken off the mirrors and crashed it. Now here's one sweet thing about electric dual sport is I can go anywhere. Unless somebody sees me, nobody's gonna know I'm back here tearing it up, having a good time. Some decent sized rain ruts out here, holy cow. Jesus, oh my God, that's a trench. Now this kind of riding is gonna be more taxing on the battery, just because the motor's like torque after every bump, you know. This is pretty wet still, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna grip on me. Yeah, it's got good grip. I was gonna try and slide it, but I'm not skilled enough to do that unless it's all sandy. There you go. There's a little one. It's like clay out here. It's really good for these tires to get grip, and that's kind of what I don't want to have right now because I'm trying to screw around and do that. Oh well. Still fun to come out here. Let me see if I can find anything interesting for you guys. Maybe get a rolling burnout. Not sure if you could hear that, but I was spinning. Wow, look at that trench. Look at that. Oh, there's the construction over there. See, if I had a noisy bike, they would definitely notice me, but since I'm quiet, there's only a chance that they'll see me. Hopefully they don't see me. Oh, this is all mud. Very muddy mud. Shoot. Oh, it's so muddy. I'm spinning my tire just trying to move slow. I made a mistake. Oh, that's a big old trench. Oh, there's a couple of... Oh, that is so deep, man. If I hadn't seen that... Alright, I need to get out of this area, I think. We're good. That was easy. Get the mud off that back tire a little bit. Oh, that's funny. There's no way I could wheelie here, right? Holy shit! Whoa! Okay, I can! I did not expect to get the traction. Whoa! Hold on, I gotta get off for this one. Dang, look at this thing. Wow. I'm totally just acting like this is my first time here, by the way. I've been here before. Look at that. That's so deep. That's so deep. That's like 3 times my height, at least. So that's where all this water, all these rain ruts lead right to this spot, and it goes down there. Probably be a lot of fun for someone more daring than myself. I might park it again and get a thumbnail shot. Don't fall. It's too bad there's nothing for me to jump. I was hoping to get my wheels off the ground a little bit. Alright, and I am out of here. Alright, so 74% and 19.5 miles. I think that math puts me at getting in like 75 miles this ride. But I am about to hit the streets and do a bunch of wheelies, and I'm gonna hurt my battery life, so. Hey, Tesla friend. It's funny, you actually meet some really nice people at the charging stations sometimes. Every single one of them is like, wait a sec, is that an electric bike? Last time I was there, I actually had a lady who was like, so I'm just curious, but how exactly are you charging? And she's asking that because you have to be charging to park in those spaces. And I was like, oh, and then she goes, is that an EV motorcycle? I was like, yep, it sure is. Wow. Well, I guess I'm gonna go neighborhood hopping because I did not expect to get caught in traffic like this. See where this neighborhood goes, I guess. Could be fun. Jump every speed bump. Hey, 69% every time. I always notice. I don't understand. The number follows me. Every time there's a 69, I notice it. Come on, lady. Get off your phone. It's time to go. It's too early for that Christmas stuff. Get out of here. Oh, God. Oh, God. They're everywhere. It's coming. Oh, I didn't even notice the tree. That's funny. I probably should have noticed that first, huh? That's a big ornament. 69th Street. Well, I'm pretty upset because I was literally just here to do something that you're about to see, but my camera was not recording. So, here I am again. Oh, completely sent to flat. Or not to flat, but bottomed out. Jeez. That's to flat. Oh my God. That's the most air I've ever had on this bike. Those kids were so excited. He said, "Papa wheelie, Papa wheelie." Let's go back and give him another one. Man, my knee actually kind of hurts from that jump. The landing is like uphill, like worst case scenario. They're so into it. That's awesome. I love seeing that. It's like my favorite thing to do is wheelies for kids because they always get so excited. They love it so much. It's not like these dang adults. Adults don't like fun. It is fun though on this bike. Every time I pop a wheelie, not only are people excited to see a wheelie, but then they're like, oh, it's an electric bike and it does wheelies. Because you know, if you see a bike throwing up a wheelie and you don't hear anything, you're gonna notice. Oh yeah, I just remembered. There was something else I was talking about when my camera wasn't recording, so I'll say it again. I haven't actually done a poll for you today to show how quick this bike is off the line. I'm not going to do it now because the battery is so low at 38%, but I will throw in some old footage of when I went to the drag racing track in over in Iowa. And my buddy Brandon, same guy who flew the drones for me in my first vlog, I raced against him on his really old 600. So I'll put that clip in now. And if I have any others of me doing polls, I'll put those in too. 0 to 60 is like 3 seconds, I think, on this bike, but the battery has to be full to do that, so it's pretty crazy, pretty dang torquey, I tell you what. It's comparable to a stock CRF 450. Alright guys, I don't think I'm going to vlog anymore until I get home and do my outro, so, but I do want to show you beautiful downtown Omaha. Hey, the mystery machine. That's pretty cool. Alright, I am on my way home now. But this is all going to be headwind travel, so we'll see if that 35% will make it. Following what we saw earlier, it was 2% per mile going into the headwind, plus this is the low percentage where it starts to drop faster, so I might be able to expect 15 miles. I think that's exactly as far as it is for me to get home from here, so I'm good as gold, as long as I don't do any wheelies, which I will, because I know myself. Can't lie. Oh yeah, I also forgot to say that the batteries do much worse in the cold. It's not that cold today. The sun is going down, but it's not very cold right now. You can expect to lose like 10 to 15 miles, if not more, in the cold. I really should be going slower. Like I said, anything over 45 kills the battery a lot faster. The top of that hill in the distance though it's all downhill from there to my house, so that is a good like 2 miles away though. So yeah, I do get range anxiety in situations like this, but I'm pretty sure I'll make it. Well, there you go, guys. I am basically home, just about. 10% left. Easily made it. So that's what I was saying when you got to use your head to plan. I left a little leeway in my numbers to make sure that I had some left over. But I am going to be parking at single digits, obviously, probably 5%, but there you go. Just plan your ride and you'll make it home no problem.